So hello students, we are going to cover the MEG-05 Block 1, Unit 3 Horace and Longinus. In this unit, we will explore two significant figures in the history of literary criticism, Horace and Longinus. Both of these thinkers provide unique insights into poetry, art, and the role of the writer, but they approach the subject from different perspectives. Let's dive into their ideas through a story-like journey. So without any further wait, let's start with the part number 1, Horace. The poet as a craftsman. Imagine ancient Rome in the 1st century BCE, a bustling city of politics, culture, and artistic achievement. Among the scholars and poets of Rome is a man named Horace. He is not just a poet but also a keen observer of the art of the writing. Horace's thoughts on poetry are best expressed in the famous work Ars Poetica, the art of poetry. So now we are going to cover the letters to young poets. Picture Horace sitting in his garden writing a letter to two young aspiring poets. He is giving them advice on how to write good poetry. He believes that poetry is not just about inspiration, it's a craft that requires skills, discipline, and practice. Now we are going to cover the key ideas in Ars Poetica. Number 1. Unity and structure. Horace advises that a poem should be well structured and consistent. Just like a well-built house, every part of a poem should serve a purpose. A poet shouldn't mix different styles or themes into a confusing way. Number 2. In the media res, beginning of the middle. Horace recommends that poets begin their stories in the middle of the action rather than starting with long introductions. This technique draws readers in immediately. Number 3 is decorum. Poets should make sure that their style matches their subject's matter. For example, if you are writing about a serious topic, your language should be serious too. Characters should speak or behave in ways that suits their roles. Number 4 point is the importance of revision. Writing is not just about the first draft. Horace encourages poets to revise their work carefully. He famously says that a good poem should be revised at least 10 times before sharing it with the world. Number 5th point is the balance of pleasure and instructions. According to the Horace, poetry should both entertain and educate. The best poems gives readers enjoyment while also teaching them something valuable. Number 6th point is the role of the poet. Horace believes that poets have a responsibility to their audience. A good poet should be wise, moral, and thoughtful, using their art to uplift society. Now we are going to talk about some Horace legacy. What are the Horace legacy? Horace approaches to poetry influenced writers for centuries. His emphasis on the structure, decorum, and the balance between pleasure and instruction become key principles for later literacy critics, especially during the Renaissance and neoclassical periods. Now we are going to talk about what is the sublime. Imagine standing at the edge of the towering cliff, looking down at the vast ocean, waves crashing below. You feel a mixture of awe, wonder, and even fear. This overwhelming feeling is what Longinus calls the sublime. In literature, the sublime refers to writing that can evoke such intense emotions. Now, we're going to talk about what is the sublime. Longinus explains his ideas in the famous work on the sublime. This is not just a guide for poets, it's a guide for anyone who wants to create writing that moves the soul. So here are some key ideas on the sublime. The power of the great writing. Longinus believes that truly great writing can lift the reader's spirits. It transcends ordinary experience and makes us feel something beyond ourselves. Number 2. Sources of the sublime. According to the Longinus, the sublime can be achieved through 5 key elements. Great thoughts. Writing should express profound and lofty ideas. Strong emotions. Genuine passion and emotion in writing can elevate it to the sublime. Noble diction. The choices of words should be powerful and fitting to the subject. Figures of speech. Using metaphors, similes, and other literacy devices can enhance the emotional impact. Dignified composition. The overall structure of the writing should flow beautifully and naturally. Number 3 point is imitating great authors. Longinus encourages writers to study the work of Homer, Plato, and other greats. By understanding what makes their writing sublime, modern writers can learn to evaluate their own work. Number 4 point is the importance of imagination. Longinus believes that the sublime often comes from the writer's imagination. When a writer's mind soars, the reader's mind can soar with it. So, an example of the sublime. Imagine reading a passage where a poet describes a violent storm at sea. The waves are monstrous, the wind howls like a wild beast, and lightning splits the sky. As you read, you feel the same fear and awe that the sailor must feel, that feeling of being overwhelmed by the power of nature. That's the sublime. Now we are going to talk on Horace versus Longinus, two approaches to poetry. Horace focuses on craftsmanship, structure, and discipline. He believed poetry should be carefully constructed and serve a moral or educated purposes. Longinus focuses on the emotional impact and power of writing. He believes poetry should elevate the soul and create a sense of awe. So, now let's talk about some key takeaways here. Horace. Poetry is a craft that requires skills and practice. Good poetry should be structured, appropriate, and the balance between instruction and entertainment. Longinus. The sublime is writing that moves the reader deeply. Achieving the sublime requires grand thoughts, strong emotions, and noble language. Now let's talk on reflection. Imagine you are a writer standing at crossroads. Down one path, Horace waits with a set of tools ready to help you craft a well-structured poem. Down to the other path, Longinus stands beneath a thunderous sky, urging you to reach for sublime and create something that touches the soul. Both paths have their wisdom. Which one will you take? So thanks for being here. I hope this made Horace and Longinus ideas clearer and more engaging. Let me know if you need more details or examples. Thank you so much for watching till here.